What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the garage in another excellent Thursday night of doing the live show. And thanks to everybody that showed up. Already got 24 viewers in the queue, loading on in. It has been quite the week. Literally 30 minutes ago, got the truck running with the Turbo 400. Now, that's not true. I got the truck running about 4 hours ago with the Turbo 400, but I was having issues with throttle response. Couldn't figure out what was going on, scratching my head. What the hell's happening? Did some digging, realized that the configuration file that I loaded was for a Z06 instead of a standard Corvette. And that was throwing throttle response off. Not sure why. I'll have to dig in between the two and see what's going on. But as soon as I got the Corvette tune file loaded up in the Silverado, boom, she took off. And it started raining, so I haven't been able to get out. I took it for a short drive about a mile away, but I'm waiting on a new drive shaft to come in because the one that's in there is a little bit shorter than I'd like. So there will be a lot of videos coming out here in the next week or so going over findings, tune adjustments, etc., etc., etc. So that out of the way, hello everybody in the chat room. A lot of familiar faces already here. And I'm wondering if Justin is going to be in the chat room tonight, because I want to do a poll for Justin and let's see if the polls even work. There's 5 minutes on this poll. We'll see if it pops up or not. Ah, there he is. I've never done a poll on a live stream, so I don't know if they work or not. They may not work. You know, half the stuff doesn't work. Oh, by the way, we did pass 30,000 as we were talking about in the chat earlier. Congratulations, everybody. Could not have done it without you guys. So, thank you for all of your continued support, liking the content, sharing the content, steering other people over here to join the community of tuners that we have become. 30,000 is just the start. No, we'll do the drawing probably next week, I think. Next Thursday. I want to give people a chance to get hyped up. I will post out on everything about what we're giving away whenever we do the drawing to give enough people a chance to show up for the live show. And we're only doing 30 minutes tonight, guys. I don't know. I think I posted on something. We're going to cut back on the hour shows for a little bit. Mainly because I've been working myself to death. And just tired. Well, I appreciate Gravel Drive. I do appreciate it. Why is this poll not working? This bums me out. First time I have any idea why my channel's PID sometimes won't record data. You have to be connected to the vehicle. No, you do not have to be. Once you connect to the vehicle, Tommy, with your scanner, and it pulls in all of the available parameters, you can edit them offline all you want. So, that being said, it's an E40. There's a limitation on how many parameters that you can add. So if you add too many, you will start losing data. Danny says, I might be going to Waynesboro drag strip tomorrow night. Do I need a helmet? I generally always say yes, Danny, but at the same time, it depends on how fast you're going. Have a 2000 TA, has a Pro charger, and I bought a smaller pulley. And HP tuners, looking for a computer now. Any suggestions? Newbie, about anything works. I literally bought the cheapest laptop on Amazon that had Windows on it, and it worked. Just got to have Windows. I don't necessarily suggest getting the cheapest laptop because it will be painfully slow. But you don't have to buy a Cadillac laptop by any means in order to do tuning. I give up. This is just not working. Doop-a-doop-doop-doo. Go, 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 go. How to get a 44L80E to work in a 2006 Trailblazer SS? That's a good question. 4L80E. I mean, shouldn't be a lot to that because the TCM Tony, I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that one. There's got to be guys out there that have already done this that have that information. That's just not something I'd know off the top of my head. Best place to buy E98 shipped to new. Well, you're going to. Here's the thing, Brett. Whenever you get it by the drum, there you go. DZ says just do a segment swap. That's why I was wondering. If you're going to do it by the drum, your freight price is probably going to be about the same no matter if you get 1 or 4 drums. So be prepared to pay $200 to have a 55-gallon drum swap sent. Thanks, Script Mike. Appreciate it. Super Slow had a question going over your 4-link setup video. Thought I noticed you didn't notch the frame. Nope. And are those... no, I've never bottomed out. I have bumps on the frames, and those shocks are... no, they're not necessarily stiffer. I'm just not riding that low. I mean, it looks low, but it's not that low. Have I ever tuned a 2.0 turbo LTG Camaro? No, I have not, though I have been tuning on a 2-liter turbo Opel recently. Tony says the segment swap didn't work. Get that VE dialed in yet? Little bit. I've got some more work to do because I did put a smaller pulley on and has changed the dynamics of the motor. And on top of it, putting the Turbo 400 in has changed the dynamics of the motor based on load, which is very critical on your volumetric efficiency table. Obviously a wideband, but in a triple pod gauge setup, what 2 gauges top the list? Oil pressure, big one. If you don't have a factory oil pressure gauge, if you do, you know, if you got boost. If you don't have boost, don't worry about boost, obviously. And then possibly fuel pressure to make sure that you're not running low on fuel pressure. Trans temp, not a bad one. Sounds good, Super Slow. Talk to you later. I don't know about IATs. I don't know that would be too critical unless you're running something crazy. Getting ready to open my harness. Micah EFI connection hooked me up with correct gauge wire for bank 1 and 2. My wires got you. Hey Nelson. Rick, no, I've not done any more with Coyote tuning. I'm going to do some Ford tuning here soon, but it's not going to be on a Coyote. It's going to be on the EcoBoost. What would you mana your boost? Ted, you're going to have to tell me. Mana your boost. Just remembered plugging it into the transmission. Are you having fun tuning the ZL1? Yeah. I've done quite a few ZL1s, in fact. In fact, I did a ZL1 or a LSA in a Land Rover in Iceland a while back that was really awesome. Do you have a video on Gen 3 when changing to 2-bar speed density? Raphael, I don't think I do. Hey, Durflor, what's going on, brother? Why would you monitor boost after everything is set up? Oh, you know, make sure you're not getting belt slip, things like that. DeWise says CNR distributing as example, Google fuel supply in the nearest big city. You can find it local in 55-gallon drums. Interesting. What is my biggest screw up that I've learned the most from was probably whenever I popped the motor because the VE table dipping into that section that was not even proper because I hadn't tuned the VE table. Other than that, I mean, I have so many small screw ups that I learned from. Just that's how you learn. And so it's just, that's why it's nice to take these things in small steps so you can see the results. And if you do have a screw up, it's not a big screw up. You go in and you muck up a bunch of stuff all at once. Crazy. What kind of EcoBoost are you tuning? I'm not sure. It's in a Volvo. It's a Volvo with an EcoBoost out of a Mustang swapped into it. If you had any experience on glitches running on HP Tuner's custom OS on a P01 ECU, I mean P01s can be a little finicky, especially riding the custom OS. 2.3, yep, that sounds right. Any ideas for making the table in the scanner for the turbo knock air table? Script Mike, no, that's a good question. Since I don't really work on that many turbo setups, I'd have to look at what's going on there to get an idea of how that table interacts and what would be the best way of plotting out a graph to use it. Yeah, Tommy, generally on the earlier stuff, and you got to remember the E40 is kind of still a Gen 3. It's the most advanced Gen 3 out there. It's the hybrid. We call it the 3.5 for the most part. On the early stuff, they have communications bandwidth issues, and so try to only log what you have to have. Looks like Terminator X53 Turbo set up. Any advice for first start and tune for more boost? First start, you should be able to use the default 5.3 table. That will get you started. And then blow out your learn values to give it maximum ability to learn. Make sure you don't have your window too tight. I think you can do 50% plus, 50% negative. And use the learn feature on the Terminator X to populate your correction table. Look at it, make sure it doesn't get too crazy, copy it over, go out, do another log, let the correction table populate, transfer it over to the VE. Just rinse and repeat. It's pretty easy. Would you get a new hobby? RC cars. I had that hobby a long time ago. It's as expensive as real cars. Will randomly lose cruise and idle is erratic. After going to a 2-bar, drive around getting VE data, everything is running, almost dialed in, and all of a sudden 23 to 1 AFR above 60 kPAZ. Biker Boy, I don't know that I could diagnose that without seeing a log. Having problems connecting and wiring the wideband sensor to the HP Tuner's Pro Link. Yeah, it's just an analog wire, then the other one goes to ground. So you've got 2 wires on Pro Link, red and blue. Those are the 2 channels, red and blue. And you will bring it in, it'll be a voltage, then you need to transform it. Easier to dish cops in an RC car, that is correct. D&Z Garage, yes, it is available on the website. If you go to VX Diag's actual website, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but there is a link buried in their description stuff to take you to the software. Yeah, I don't know, Gravel Driver. That's an interesting problem it sounds like you're having. Any ideas what can be logged to identify a possible ignition misfire? I mean, you can log misfires, Colin. There should be individual cylinder misfires. The only consistency about the misfire only happens under light to moderate throttle between 15 and 3200 RPMs, but not every time. Are you getting a flashing check engine light to indicate that you're getting misfires? Is there any reason you see more voltage at the battery alternator compared to the fuse box? It depends on where you're reading it on the fuse box, to be honest with you, LSX type. What brand wide? I run AEM. You going to be up late tonight? No. No, I'm going to bed in about 30 minutes. Shut the vehicle off for 30 minutes. Everything was back to normal. Conjecture data because of this. Hold on, let me go back. Drive around getting VE. You know, Biker Boy, I saw this on somebody else's setup, and I don't remember what it was. Is it under throttle that you're getting that? No light. So it's not serious misfires, or else you'd be getting a light. In my Gen 3, I'll get an early rev limit. Is there something else I can look to cause it to cut out 300 RPM? My cutoff shows 7,000. Get cut out consistently at 6,700. Gen 3 people, help them out on that one. How do you calculate new intake volume? For a manifold, hopefully you can find numbers somewhere. Short of that, fill it full of water. You think EcoBoosts are hard to turn? Hard to tune. Yes, EcoBoost, all Fords are hard to tune because they have 6,000 volumetric efficiency tables. Hey, Eric. I want to say, thank you. First thing you would do for someone wanting to get into tuning with a stock car. First thing, research. That's the big thing. And then try small things. Get the proper equipment. You know, get your tuning platform. If it's HP tuners or whatever else that you're going for, get a wideband. You need those two tools at least. And then go out and do things like put it in open loop, see what the fueling error is, and then start, you know, doing adjustments to the math curve or something like that. Start small. Scott, big spender. Thank you, sir. We gotta get a new. I think we got the nitrous purge up here. We gotta do something new. Maybe we'll do a burnout in the truck here soon and get a new video. Yeah, transmission shifts are another good one. Torque management, if it's on there, dialing it back. Talk about making it feel like you're hauling ass. Oh, I can't keep track half the time. I apologize. I still don't know why this stupid poll is not working. I'm really disappointed. Work technology. The poll has been opened. There you go. Use exclamation point. You got to do exclamation point vote and then type in bow tie or Mopar. So let's go. Vote bow tie. Lambda AFR for Gen 3. Depends on if you're going to run flex fuel. If you're not, you're fine with AFR. Exclamation point vote. I don't think any of these votes are registering. It's cracking me up. I think Justin's going to get the idea anyways. I told him this is probably the wrong group to be polling on this. No, I don't think it's working. Says there's no votes been counted yet. Yeah, it's under acceleration. If we keep the RPMs under 2,500, she never goes lean. Man, I really wish I could remember, Biker Boy. You can vote as many times as you want because none of them are counting. So you might as well just stop voting. What's the most popular platform for tuning Mopars? Probably HP tuners right now. Active handling during hard launches? Yes. Sketch. I had that problem on my 5th gen, kicking on Does it act like he's going into limp mode? Biker Boy, I will try and see if I can find the email chain of me talking to the guy that was having the same issue and see what we figured out on that. So if you don't get it sorted out by next Thursday, come back and we'll see if we can shed some more light on it. This stupid voting thing. The Magnum had rust, so he got rid of it. Did not end up buying it, I guess. No, it's applying the brakes and pitching the car to the side. You could try, Sketch, you could try doing the ABS bypass by wiring a switch into one of your speed sensors to disable the ABS module. D-White is already in GMs. I got one right here that has neural network for a GM. So. This is happening on your C6 that's running with the Terminator? Yeah, exactly. It's election year. No wonder the poll's not working. Ah, gotcha. I don't know which messaging you're talking about because I don't do well with messaging. PC and Frenzy, if somebody has 60-pound injectors and you don't have the data, where would you start? I would try and find the closest data I could. Search the part number off the injectors. See what you can find. And then if you can't, try and find injector data for another set of 60-pounders. Any plans to tune a Gen 2 CTSV? Tuning's tuning. Doesn't matter if it's a 2-liter turbo or a 427, LS9, LS7, LT2. Well, just can't tune LT2s yet. LT1s, LT4s, all that stuff. Tuning is tuning. Yep, monthly basis to tune the neural network. $1,200 a month. There, the poll's over. No votes. Congratulations. Well, Justin, it was Chevy by a landslide. Everybody thinks you should get a C7. He's probably left by now. Discouraged by all of the Chevy lovers in here. Turned off PO300 and unchecked SES, but still get it. What is PO300? Sounds good, Tommy. Have a good one. How long on your drive shaft to be done? They said it will ship by next Wednesday. Ship by next Wednesday. I called up QA1. Their lead time was 4 months. Or 4 weeks, not 4 months. Good Lord. Ah, he is still here. I don't remember. Who made my drive shaft? PSTDS. 0300 is multi-misfire, so that is just going off of one of the other misfire codes, right? It doesn't, PCM is not going to be perfectly the same, but it should get you in the ballpark. Scott, you'll just have to tune in and see. Hi, Holly. For 2 wide winds because the gauge looks like my car gauge and the others for tuning lambda. Gotcha. Yes, Danny, that is why people have been able to do things like turbocharge and throw nitrous at them, because they do have factory widebands. Nice, Brandon. What cam did you go with? You're going to see... Scott, yeah, I've got a drive shaft loop, but I may have to get a bigger one. I'm going to have to check my clearances. I mean, technically, I don't know. I'd have to look at the regulations to see if I even need a drive shaft loop, since wait a second, I'm not supposed to give that secret away. Went with one of the Summit ones. Yeah, I would, man, I really, well, my current drive shaft hit when it was turning on the loop, and I had to make some adjustments to my drive shaft loop after I put the engine back in. Tim, I bought my ProCharger secondhand. No problem, mechanic. Talk to you later. Yes, the Coyotes and the Hellcats do have widebands also. Gen 5 torque. What specific torque values make up the virtual torque? Oh, man. Colin, listen, that's not something I can go into and explain in 3 minutes. I have videos out on Gen 5 torque. Check the Gen 5 tuning section. There might actually be a playlist for torque tuning. Yeah, I don't know. I don't guess I quite understand what the point of running a loop is with the carbon fiber drive shaft. Because if carbon fiber drive shaft lets go, it just splinters and turns into fuzz. How much secondhand? How much did I pay secondhand? I don't even remember. Do you think the DoD and VVT hardware at the LT4? Okay, well, for one, you can't hit 1,000 horsepower without replacing the cam anyways. So you might as well do away with DoD and VVT. Yeah, Scott, whenever I put the motor back in, I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on, and it had shifted my drive shaft over just enough where one of the balance weights would every once in a while just touch a bolt. You're not going to hit 1,000 with just bolt-ons. Just not going to happen. So, if you're wanting 1,000, you need to be ready to tear into it. 2.9 Whipple plus NOS. You're not going to hit 1,000 with just bolt-ons. I'm telling you, you're just not going to do it. I don't care what you throw at it. You will blow it up before you hit 1,000 horsepower without tearing into that motor first. Yeah, you might get one pull to 1,000. Because DoD and AFM are the worst things ever created. I bet that throttle spacer will do it. Exactly. Yeah, I feel you there, WMR. It didn't have to be on a dyno jet. If you're going to do it right, man. Or else you'll end up like me. I mean, I wasn't heartbroken about it because I had planned on doing a full build out on it. So if you want to throw all the horsepower at it in the knowing that you're going to smoke the block eventually and have to do all that stuff anyways, go for it. You know, it's your money. I'm not going to hate anybody that wants to make as much horsepower as humanly possible, because it's a good way to learn on top of it. So it's been very interesting to see. I'm guessing for the most part I was probably the only stock bottom end L83 that was running 20 pounds of boost on it, and it survived longer than I thought it would. And in fact, it would have survived if it hadn't been for a crappy VE table that killed it. Now, if it would have made it for the second pass, who knows? Yeah, exactly. Just trust me, whenever I get into the whole debacle about programming the ECM for this transmission swap, wait until I explain to you how I wasted $100. That was a hard lesson to learn. Okay, it is 8:30. Said we're doing 30-minute shows for the next couple weeks. So, thank you everybody for swinging by. Maybe try and do a live show this weekend. I don't know what's going on. I gotta get some video content out. So, but I'm going to get a video out very soon of driving the Turbo 400. And then we will get the new drive shaft in, hopefully before next weekend. And then we're going to go out and really drive the Turbo 400. Play with the trans brake, play with the bump box, maybe play with the nitrous, all that stuff. So, thanks everybody. You know the drill. ABT, always be tuning.